Hi everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another royal news video. So in this video, we have got some good news, which I hope will help calm some of you that have been getting a little bit stressed, thinking the king is being extremely weak, that the king is putting his heart over his head and he is putting Harry above the thoughts and the feelings of Catherine and William. I didn't believe that that was happening, and I am now even more sure than ever. Harry's team basically blew it. Harry blew it because he did the Guardian interview, but then the team of people, whether it's in the media, working with them directly or indirectly to stir up lots of clickbait and drama, they over-egged the pudding, and they have now destroyed the narrative themselves that they were trying to spin, because the palace turned around and said, you've pushed it a bit too far. Now, we know that the palace and the royals use the mantra, never complain, never explain. It's only been one time when that statement came out about recollections may vary. Well, they have decided to push back this time as well with quite the epic slap down. So for those of you that were getting stressed and worried, fear not. So Harry has had a friend come forward, Alex Rayner. He did the North Pole walk with Harry back in 2012, and you might recognise him more recently where he piped up over Dr. Sophie Chanduka and Harry's fallout over Centre Barley. He turned round and said the reason why her nose was put out of joint was because she was jealous, because she was not the most important woman of colour on that stage. Talk about an arrogant, misogynistic statement with, dare I say it, racial undertones. Now, Mr. Rayner had also added on to that particular article that Harry is more than happy for me to tell everybody how he really feels. And because he's given that statement, one can only presume that he still has been given Harry's blessing to come forward. Well, this is where I say he's clearly got a crystal ball with him, because he said, as soon as the opportunity presents itself, we'll see a wonderful embrace between the two brothers. Is Prince William aware of this apparent hug that they're going to have? Because after he's insulted not just their grandparents, their father, sold their mother's memory down the river for cash, got a wife who impersonates her all of the time, attacked his beautiful wife Catherine, attacked their marriage, and even expressed concerns over Prince William and Catherine's parenting over Prince George, Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis, I'm fairly certain there is another dog bowl with Harry's name on it. Prince William had an opportunity, if it was indeed thawing between the brothers, when they went to their uncle's funeral, a place normally where, if there are certain emotional things that have gone on between family members, people often find ways to forgive each other. And, well, Prince William completely blanked him. He pretended like he did not exist. He steered well clear. So whilst Harry's had a sudden turnaround from blaming his father from stripping his security, and now he wants to spend the next year spending time with dear old Pa, not suspicious at all, Prince William, I'm certain, will be sticking to his guns. Mr. Rayner then goes on to say that he hopes that the reunion would be in the next few months, if not by the end of the year, then next. They'll hug in the not too distant future. Well, move over, Mystic Meg. I wonder how many pieces of gold you have to pass over Alex's hand before he can tell you your future. Probably a lot less than it is to grease Harry's palm for him to sell his family down the river. But this, of course, alongside Harry leaking what cakes that his father served, who hugged, who cried, this wasn't the only story which caused, I would say, the palace to go, oh, do you know what? Never complain, never explain. No, we've had enough. You pushed it too far. And this was, of course, by their favourite mouthpiece, Charlotte Griffiths, or as some people are now calling her, Charlotte Scobie. So I will give you guys a warning here. Please put down any hot drinks, because this one, if you don't know about it, you're going to choke. High-level talks are underway for the king to appear publicly with Harry to show their unity. Courtiers from both households are working together. Harry not only apparently has courtiers, he has a royal household. And this royal household took 2 days off so not to clash Harry's diary arrangements with the presidential state visit. Obviously, Harry wouldn't want to clash. Harry is the small joke section now on the back of the newspapers. Now, as for Charlotte calling Harry's household of staff courtiers, a courtier is a person who attends royal court as a companion or advisor to the king or queen or other high-ranking royalty. Ooh, how's that freedom flight going now, Harry? Clearly you've had a change of heart. Just call me H. Well, that didn't last very long at all now, did it? Let's not forget that they are to be referred to as Sir and Ma'am by the Invictus staff. Yes, the veterans and the wonderful people that work on the Invictus Foundations, Harry and Meghan said to them, "Oh, yes, you don't need to call us by the Duke and Duchess or His and Her Royal Highnesses. Just refer to us as Sir and Mom." Wow. Honestly, at this rate, those two are both going to need surgery to have their heads removed from their own bottoms. So the article goes on to say that the king is very unhappy. Again, Charlotte is reiterating words from another William bashing article a few weeks back. The king is very unhappy with Prince William, who doesn't attend as many engagements as him. And Prince William is also apparently furious at his father because he dared to meet with Harry. I do not believe that any more than I believe that Harry has a royal household. Harry can't have a royal household because Harry gave up being a working member of the royal family. If you think about the titles that the Queen gave them, they were like, I would say, job titles. And Harry and Meghan chose to quit that job and complain non-stop about how awful that job really was. Harry practically had a nervous breakdown. He was pushed too far when he had to visit people in an earthquake zone. I mean, poor Harry, as he had to go around and pose for photographs looking like he actually cared about these people's plights. And Meghan, well, as we know, she lasted 72 days in total. Charlotte does go on to call Harry's royal household, however, as the Sussex royal household. I'm sorry, I've got a memory, as I'm sure you do, and Queen Elizabeth II stripped that from them when they decided to quit. Harry doesn't have work engagements. He's basically an unemployed rich bum who uses charities for his own image, rehabilitation, and of course, attention. And Meghan is no different. But this line really got me as well, honestly. I cannot believe Charlotte can write this stuff. I guess I don't know what the incentives are behind it. I really can't believe that she believes it. That's for a start. Harry's visit to the UK was not about trying to show up or compete with his brother. I mean, there's clearly no concerns there. We saw the huge number of people that didn't turn up to see Harry. Oh, look, there's a tumbleweed blowing past. Harry's trip was instead to apparently remind William that Harry can be there to take some of the load off, given some of the criticism Prince William has received for carrying out a fewer number of engagements. Harry, who plans to come to the UK 4 to 5 times per year, is said to be hopeful that he can at least find a working relationship with Prince William. Now, many people, when they first saw, obviously, the king meeting with Harry and then Charlotte's story coming out about how Harry and the king are going to see each other and it's going to build up to an event where they will be seen together, where the king will show the world and show the public that Harry has officially come in from the cold. Many people were furious, saying that they can't support the king, he's letting down the monarchy, I'd rather have a republic than see Harry's treacherous face. Harry and Meghan don't care if people were talking about them negatively, they care if people are talking about them. As Oscar Wilde famously said, there is only one thing in life worse than being talked about, and that is not being talked about. That is Harry and Meghan's mantra. I honestly think that Harry and Meghan, with their beaming grins after Charlotte broke this story just before they make an appearance at Kevin Costner's annual fundraiser for emergency first responders, Harry and Meghan were being talked about more than what they have done in Lord knows how long, because people were in so much disbelief that the king could be that stupid. He's really not that stupid. But again, think about it. This is Harry and Meghan's latest tactics. They've changed their PR team, haven't they? And this is the new game that they are playing. Now, whilst I quickly mention that benefit, yes, it has been noticed that Meghan, like the true single biracial female that she is, she has, of course, lightened her hair from when she had been on Emma Greed's podcast, for example. Isn't that funny? Catherine lightens her hair, Meghan lightens her hair. But one thing that I did notice, which is definitely worth speaking about, it would seem that Harry was a little bit high from the positive attention that in his brain that he got on that 4-day trip to the UK. And he was not allowing Meghan to hang on to him like a limpet, choosing at one point to put his hand in the pocket as he continued to speak to people on the stage. Meghan was getting closer and closer to try and get him to give her the microphone until she gave up and walked off of stage. And look at those jaw muscles. I can only imagine how pissed off Meghan was that her little toy puppet was no longer playing ball. There seems to have been a power shift between the couple. It would seem that Harry has managed to locate one of his testicles, no doubt that's been stashed away in Meghan's ever-increasing designer handbag pile. But that being said, let's not forget that these two are still playing the game together. They are both as delusional and they are definitely in on this campaign to try and bulldoze the royal family. But the palace has decided enough is enough. Whether it was the story that the king is going to make a public appearance with his youngest son, or whether it was more likely the story that Harry's going to help Prince William with his workload, somebody over at the palace turned around and said, do you know what? Not on my watch. Never complain, never explain has been thrown out of the window to squish these stories like a bug, and I'm here for it. So Rebecca English, who also writes for the Daily Mail, she has spoken to a senior palace royal source. When these stories come out, it means that someone high above has given permission to reveal that this story that Harry and Meghan are trying to peddle is utter nonsense. And they have issued, I would say, a series of slapdowns, bitch slaps. So let's go through them, shall we? Regarding the constant stream of stories that have been implying that Harry will soon publicly appear alongside his father and his brother and take on some sort of royal hybrid working role, the source said, whoever is behind them seems to have mistaken a brief tea and a slice of cake for the Treaty of Versailles. That translates to the stories that are coming out are total bollocks, completely fabricated. No such thing is going to happen. Slap number one. These syrupy briefings from supposed Sussex sources are precisely why the king and royal family are so hesitant to embark on any road to rapprochement. If the intention is to encourage rebuilding of trust, they serve the precise opposite effect. Well, the fact that they're referring to syrupy sweet briefings, we know who they think it's coming from, and I think they might be right. Bitch slap number two. As last week's state visit clearly demonstrated, the power and the impact of the modern monarchy lives in the unshakable bonds between the King and the Prince of Wales. That was saying that the King and Prince William are close as they have ever been. If not, they're probably more closer now that Harry has shown what a traitorous little twerp he is. Slap number three. All these stories trying to put a positive spin on Harry's relationship with his family are entirely predictable and woefully inflated, and it owes more to hope than reality. Oh, I mean, I actually felt that one myself. Ouch, 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 ouch. They are saying that it was predictable that stories would be made up, that this one brief meeting has already been turned into something that it was not. This is where I say Harry and his team have yet again messed up any chance of the king trusting him again, because not only has he run to the media with more tales, they are completely overspinning what the meetup was about to push this new narrative and to try and manipulate the public and the royal family. And the source said it's eroded any possibility of developing trust. Harry and his team completely shot him in the foot because they overdid it, didn't they? Like I said, I think they thought that they had the king by the short and curlies and they could twist it however they wanted. This is why the king met Harry so publicly, so people could see how short an amount of time that he had. He had to come through the main door. You know, it was done as a quick slot in a business meeting. I think what the king did needed to be done. And the fact is that the palace has now shot all of these ridiculous stories down. Bearing in mind that they don't normally do that. They do have that mantra, like I said, never complain, never explain. And I think Harry was relying on that, much like Meghan and Harry relied on that when they started peddling all those lies all those many years ago. The royal family do not want him. The royal family certainly do not need him. And Harry just got a very public slap down. Now, of course, he isn't the only one in the family that deserves a public slapping from the royals at the moment. Honestly, just when you think it's all beginning to quieten down, of course, the House of York bring more embarrassment to the monarchy. So join me for my next video where I will be talking about the good royals, the amazing royals, the wonderful royals that everybody loves. And then we need to talk about the ex-royals that really need to go into the shadows and to stay there. So join me for my next video and I will see you soon. Take care for now. Bye.